we knew it was going to be a tough game. You know, we got back from West Virginia at 5 o'clock on Thursday morning, and you know, everybody deals with it. You know, just kind of battle through. I thought we did a great job in the second half battling through it, but again, we can't dig ourselves those holes in the first half. But you know, I thought our guys kept fighting. But again, just the little things I told them after the game. There's a lot of little things. You know, the live ball turnovers. I think they were just killers. We kind of warned that before the game. But if you give 18 points off of turnovers, it's really hard. So, but they fought, and again, those are those tough games that you hope you can eke out. And I feel bad for our guys because I think we had opportunities to do it tonight.
Alex, what did you make of that last foul and kind of the delayed reaction to it to allow them to shoot?
No, it was, you know, that was a mistake by our coaching staff because we were going to, you know, and I'll take the blame on that because, you know, we had a foul to give, and you know, obviously you don't want to foul them that late, and I feel bad for Sadu because I think we put him in a bad spot. You know, we told the ref we were trying to foul him, you know, dribble or two over half court, so hopefully they'd have to take it out on the sideline with, you know, hopefully 7 seconds left. So, yeah, so, you know, unfortunate, but again, I told our guys as coaches, we'll get better at that, preparing for those situations, and then also all of them have, you know, like everybody has a turnover they probably could, you know, take back or a gamble or just being solid. So,
Coach, what were you seeing from the Knights defense there during that last bit of the game? You ended up not scoring for about 5 minutes before that game time.
You know, I could give Johnny and Central Florida credit. You know, they obviously probably watched our Arizona State game. We talked to our guys and walked through it, and you know, it's just kind of a maturity level of, you know, when something works, like you don't need to, you just keep going back to it. You don't need to, you know, do something more. And you know, I'll give them credit in the second half. You know, because against the zone, you don't need a million plays, and you know, we did a good job there. I think when we made our run in the second half, we just ran couple plays and the guys did a really good job with it. But I think we kind of get impatient and we get sped up, and you know, obviously playing a zone changes the tempo of the game, and you know, we're learning to play at that tempo.
Coach Brown went for a steal late in the game that led to an open corner three. Did he ever explain what he was seeing or thinking on that play? It seems like that was maybe the difference in the game.
You know, that's the best and the worst thing about TB. Like, he cares, like he's going to play hard, but again, it's just the learning process. You know, I told him after the game, like, he cares, so you appreciate that, but that's not the time. Like, just be solid, and on both ends, offensively and defensively, just like learning to let it come to you instead of like making it happen. Like, you know, you can have just as many steals by being in the right spot instead of the game. But you know, big play, but again, that's one play he could have taken back. You know, like those turnovers, Abby had a cross-court turnover. Katie had a chest pass in the middle. But again, you know, it's not going to be perfect, but that's the one thing I told them. Starting it myself, everybody else can get better and at those mistakes that we have control over.
Alex, between the win at West Virginia and then the close loss tonight, what are, you know, some positives that you can possibly glean, you know, coming down the stretch of these last couple of games in the regular season?
You know, and you know, to be honest, I'm getting sick of the moral victories. We were up by 5 at Cincinnati, who just beat, you know, Kansas at Kansas, and you know, I feel bad for our guys because the opportunities don't come around a lot. I'm trying to get that across to them to make the most of it, and no, it's hard because I think we're better than our record, and you know, it's just everybody making it. In West Virginia, the game, and TCU, the games we've won, we've made those plays down the stretch, not those big time mistakes. So again, it's learning.
Last one.
A couple weeks ago, you had talked about kind of the effort from your team and just kind of sometimes giving up or not going through the full motions. But it seems like this last stretch, you guys have been really connected, at least for the majority of the time. What have you seen that's changed that's allowed you guys to maybe play a little bit more like a team?
You know, I'll give them credit because I think, you know, we as coaches we try to, you know, kind of portray it to them, but just being steady, right? Like getting better every day. And I think, you know, the long road trips sometimes can be a good time because you spend time together. And I thought we did a good job. And you know, give them credit. They came back after we lost a tough one at Cincinnati, which we very well could have won. And then we came out with a performance at West Virginia, which was good. And you know, I knew this one was gonna be tough, cause you have the travel, you get back late, and it's a mental, like, pushing through, and they did in the second half. I'll give them that, but it's kinda gotta start with that. But I think they're playing better together and off of each other. And when we make our runs, that's usually what happens.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
So-
Thanks, Alex.
Thanks, Alex.